offering my advice because I don't know. I don't know what it's like to be social media, Instagram this. I don't know what it's like to be bombarded and have to be the breadwinner in the family and be a brand and be worried about what I do or say and everything else, and 24/7 being pulled in so many different directions and not knowing. And then throwing the fact that if I'm insecure, if I've got my own mental issues going on, who do I talk to? I don't regret being born when I was.
Right.
I'm in the right place at the right time. It's just been fascinating to watch these young ladies come up and now take the baton and take it to a different level.
And you know, she delivered this message with such an incredible, graceful power that it sent shockwaves through the entire sports world. Just a moment ago, the entire landscape of basketball was fundamentally altered because the one and the only Cheryl Miller, yes, the legendary Cheryl Miller, finally summoned the courage to say what millions upon millions of fans were already thinking, what they were feeling deep down in their gut, but were honestly too afraid to say out loud. She declared, with no hesitation, that Team USA never truly wanted Caitlin Clark on their roster. And let me tell you, the second those words left her lips, the entire basketball world absolutely detonated. Now, before we dive into the heart of this explosive story, do me a quick favor and smash that like button, because what you're about to hear is going to shake you to your very core. If you are a fan of real, authentic basketball, and if you are completely sick and tired of the backroom politics poisoning the sports we all love, then you need to subscribe to this channel right now, because the exposé we are unpacking today is, without any doubt, the biggest one of the entire year. Cheryl Miller didn't just whisper it, she didn't hint at it, and she certainly didn't try to sugarcoat the truth for anyone. She went on the record, live for the entire world to see, and laid out precisely why Caitlin Clark is continuously being ignored, benched without any logical reason, shown blatant disrespect, hedged to the floor, and relentlessly targeted and treated like an outsider who simply never belonged. Her voice was completely steady, razor-sharp, and absolutely unshakable, as she said, and I quote, "Caitlin Clark changed basketball, and that is exactly why they fear her." In that single instant, the internet went into a complete and total meltdown. From the very first day she stepped onto a professional court, Caitlin Clark delivered television ratings that every single sports league on this planet can only dream of. She single-handedly brought millions of fans flooding back to women's basketball.
Personally speaking, I feel like she ought to be able to wear her 22. But nonetheless, it looks like she's making a big change, folks. There's a case to be made that Indiana Fever superstar Caitlin Clark's 22 is the most recognizable number in women's sports right now. I don't think there's even I don't think it's arguable at all. I just think when you think of far and away women.
We're not just talking about traditional sports fans here. We're talking about entire families, young kids, and countless people who had never, ever watched a single WNBA game in their entire lives. And what does she get in return for this absolutely monumental contribution? A relentless barrage of hard fouls that border on assault with absolutely zero protection from the officials who are supposed to keep the game safe. She gets suspiciously timed benchings that make no strategic sense. She endures a constant stream of so-called accidental elbows and unintentional shoves, and a mountain of pathetic excuses, just endless, flimsy excuses. Cheryl Miller finally spoke the words that nobody with a position of power inside Team USA or the WNBA dared to admit publicly. They don't want her there because her star power completely, and I mean completely, overshadows everyone else. But let's be crystal clear about this. This wasn't just some casual opinion from a former player. Cheryl meticulously laid out a pattern of behavior that she has personally witnessed for years. Every single time a brilliant young superstar emerges and threatens the established hierarchy, every time an individual becomes bigger than the system itself, that system pushes back with all of its might. And in the case of Caitlin Clark, she didn't just get big. At only 22 years old, she became the undisputed face of global basketball. And that, according to Cheryl Miller's powerful testimony, is precisely why the higher-ups, the old guard inside Team USA, never had any intention of making her the centerpiece of their team. Cheryl just went ahead and said the quiet part out loud for the whole world to hear. Team USA is tangled up in the very same toxic politics that we see plaguing the WNBA rampant favoritism, exclusive power circles, an unshakable loyalty to veterans over raw talent, and absolutely no room for a new star who wasn't built from the ground up by their own system. Caitlyn wasn't developed by them. She didn't rise through their preferred structure. She flat out refused to follow their script. She came from Iowa. She brought her own legion of fans. She brought her own massive spotlight, and that deeply threatened a lot of powerful people. Cheryl stated unequivocally that Team USA had already made up their mind mims before any roster discussions even began. The plan was brutally simple: protect the veterans at all costs, keep the old guard as the public face of the team, and never, ever let a rookie get the keys to the kingdom. Caitlin Clark was never going to be welcomed with open arms. The plan was to manage her, to control her, to soften her image, and ultimately to keep her quiet.
Handled. Ultimately, it didn't matter because Clark was out, of course, with the groin injury. Let's just scroll down here, because Sonia Cintron also was on the All-Star team. She wore 22. But the same can't be said for Team USA basketball, as players aren't allowed to share the same jersey number when suiting up for the national team. In fact, players are forced to wear a completely different number than what they're accustomed to on their professional teams. Caitlin Clark is going to wear number 17 at Team USA training camp.
But see, Caitlin Clark simply didn't play by those unwritten backroom rules. She played the electrifying brand of basketball that the entire world fell in love with. And that's when Cheryl exposed the biggest bombshell of them all. They were terrified, absolutely terrified, that she would become the undisputed star of Team USA before the Olympics even had a chance to start. Just let that sink in for a moment. Can you imagine that? An organization being actively afraid that a 22-year-old rookie would outdraw 10-year veterans in television ratings, that a single player would generate more media buzz and genuine excitement than the entire rest of the roster combined. More highlights, more social media views, more passionate discussion. Team USA simply wasn't prepared for that kind of paradigm shift, and the system that props it up certainly wasn't built for it. So instead of celebrating this generational talent, they pushed back hard. And the fans saw absolutely everything. We all saw the cold body language on the court. We all saw the bizarre player rotations that made absolutely no strategic sense. We saw the unnecessarily hard fouls that were clearly meant to intimidate her. We saw the so-called accidents that never ever got called by the refs. And we heard the constant biting criticism for the very same things other players were being praised for. Cheryl Miller put it perfectly when she said, "You don't treat the most impactful young player in the history of basketball like this unless you're deliberately trying to send a message." And what was that message, you ask? It was simple. Stay in your lane. Know your place. Don't you dare climb the ladder too fast. But Caitlin just kept climbing every single game. Every logo three-pointer, every insane no-look pass, every single sold-out arena, every viral highlight that broke the internet. With each incredible moment she rose higher, and so did the jealousy and the hate. Cheryl revealed the ugly truth that everyone knew deep down, but no one would say out loud. Caitlin Clark is being punished for being great.
Off season, with the front office we don't trust, we don't believe in, we can't believe anything they say, and we don't know what's really going to happen with Caitlin Clark's health. This sucks, man. This sucks. I feel bad for Caitlin because I know she wanted to be out there for the fans, to put on a show. I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know, man. Man, just even the photo she posted, it's like, man, we was ready.
We, the millions of fans, felt this deep in our bones. Parents watching at home with their kids felt it. The kids themselves felt it. Even NBA superstars felt it. And they tweeted about it, calling out the blatant injustice for the world to see, but not one single person from the inside, from within that protected system, ever had the courage to speak the unvarnished truth until the legendary Cheryl Miller stepped up to the microphone. Then came the second bomb she dropped, the whole drama surrounding the jersey number change. Cheryl said Team USA handled it in the worst, most disrespectful way possible. Instead of having a private, respectful discussion, instead of doing anything to make Caitlin feel valued and welcomed, they turned it into a public spectacle that was clearly designed to make her look like she was the problem for wanting something every single elite athlete desires: consistency and respect. Cheryl said they made her feel like a complete inconvenience, and that was the moment fans across the world finally snapped. Millions of them. And then the third bomb. Cheryl revealed that Team USA was completely divided internally over Clark. Some of the coaches desperately wanted her on the team, recognizing her game-changing, once-in-a-generation talent. Some did not. Some players quietly supported her behind the scenes, while others were terrified she would take their spotlight. Some of the executives absolutely loved the record-breaking ratings and revenue she brought in. Others hated the intense, non-stop attention she commanded. It was a divided room, with a rising superstar and a massive, inescapable spotlight right in the middle of it all. This was never really about basketball. This was about politics, ego, and power. You could literally hear Cheryl's voice crack with emotion when she said it. Caitlin Clark plays the game the right way, and she is being punished for it.
And as far as I was concerned, I was just glad to know eventually I wasn't the only girl playing basketball and balling, and playing at a high level. But it's been a blessing just to watch the women grow and watch the women find their voices, use their platforms, and finally get paid.
Right.
That's been, if anything, the flowers for me.
That one line hit the entire nation like a tidal wave, because it crystallized everything everyone had been witnessing with their own eyes. This wasn't just about Team USA. Not by a long shot. No, this was about the entire season. It was about the endless stream of brutal, hard fouls that went uncalled. It was about the blatant shoves when the refs were conveniently looking the other way. It was about the clear and obvious targeting from jealous opponents who couldn't handle her talent. It was about the staggering disrespect from veterans, the deafening silence from the league office that should have protected her, the petty jealousy, the fake narratives spun in the media, and the constant, overwhelming noise from every direction that was clearly designed to do one thing and one thing only: to break her spirit.